A love story is beautiful until it's ripped apart before your eyes. Bridgerton Season 4 isn't just another chapter of high society romance. It's a promise of heartbreak. The kind of ending that leaves you staring at the screen, unable to move, with tears running down your face. This isn't about glittering ballrooms, waltzes under chandeliers, or whispers behind silk fans anymore. This is about love colliding with fate. And fate has never been kind in the world of Bridgerton. The Bridgerton universe has always been wrapped in beauty. The soft glow of candlelit banquets, gardens filled with roses, and orchestras playing as lovers steal forbidden glances. It feels safe, magical, and filled with endless hope. But behind the gowns and smiles, there is a shadow growing in Season 4. What makes Bridgerton so powerful is not just the romance, but the truth hidden beneath it, that love is fragile. It survives on stolen moments and daring choices, but it can be destroyed in a single night. Season 4 begins with the promise of love, but every promise comes with a price. Couples who once felt untouchable begin to show cracks, and those cracks spread silently like spiderwebs across a glass heart. The grand dances and glittering soirees no longer feel like celebrations. They feel like the calm before a storm. You sense it in the characters' eyes, the fear that the happiness they've clung to might slip away. The heart of Bridgerton has always been the belief that passion can overcome tradition, that desire can silence the cruel rules of society. Yet, in Season 4, we are reminded that the world is not built for lovers who defy its order. Whispers turn into scandals, choices turn into punishments, and one decision, just one, can destroy everything that was built. This is why the season feels heavier, darker, and far more dangerous. The glitter hides the grief, but if you look closer, you'll see it. A mother's sacrifice, a lover's regret, a family's reputation on the edge of ruin. These are not just stories, they are warnings. And as the music plays, you already know it's leading us somewhere devastating, somewhere final. Every story in Bridgerton begins the same way, with beauty. Season 4 is no different. The screen is filled with jewels shining brighter than stars, gowns stitched with gold threads, and men in uniforms that speak of power and control. The music swells, the carriages roll in, and society's most polished faces gather under crystal chandeliers. It feels like perfection, almost too perfect. And that's where the illusion lies, because behind every polite smile is a secret. Behind every bow and curtsy is a lie. The Bridgertons have always stood as the symbol of love's triumph. A family who dares to believe in happiness despite society's rules. But as the new season unfolds, we begin to see the cracks forming not only in their romances, but in the very walls that protect them. The world outside is watching, waiting for them to stumble. And when the fall comes, it will not be gentle. This season isn't just about love, it's about survival. Every character is trapped in a game, and the rules of that game are cruel. Love is not enough. Loyalty is not enough. The one thing that decides everything is sacrifice. Who will give up their dreams? Who will silence their heart? And who will pay the price for wanting more than society allows? As the days turn into nights filled with endless whispers and gossip, you begin to feel the weight of what's coming. The gossip sheets, the rivalries, the forbidden glances. All of it feels like a fuse waiting to be lit. The grand halls that once felt like places of magic now feel like cages, trapping every soul in their own torment. Season 4 builds this tension slowly, like a waltz you cannot escape. Step by step, the music rises. Step by step, the lies deepen. And just when the dance feels beautiful, you realize it is leading you to heartbreak. Because in Bridgerton, beauty is never just beauty. It's the mask worn before the tragedy. Every season of Bridgerton gives us a couple to root for, a love that feels untouchable. In Season 4, that love burns brighter than ever, but it also burns faster, like a candle that knows it will not last the night. This is not a love made of safety or certainty. It is a love carved out of longing, stolen glances, and risks that could destroy everything. From the very start, you can feel it. the pull between two souls who should never have met in the first place. Their love is bold, reckless, and full of promise, and yet it stands on fragile ground. Every kiss feels like a rebellion. Every meeting feels like a crime. They are fighting against a world built to keep them apart. And the more they fight, the more fragile their bond becomes. This love story is not threatened by lack of passion. It is threatened by too much of it. The more they love, the more the world pushes back. Families interfere. Secrets are uncovered. Promises are broken. Not because they want to break them, but because survival demands it. You begin to see how love in Bridgerton is never just about two people. It is about everyone watching, judging, waiting to strike. What makes this romance dangerous is not just society's disapproval. It is fate itself. The choices they make ripple outward like cracks in glass, spreading until nothing can hold. One decision, one mistake, and everything they've fought for collapses. The audience knows it. The characters know it. And yet they cannot stop themselves from loving each other anyway. This is what makes Season 4 different. The love story here is not about whether two people will end up together. It is about how much they are willing to lose for each other. And as their bond deepens, so does the sense of dread. Because in Bridgerton, passion always comes with a price, and this time, the cost will be unbearable. In Bridgerton, love is never just about two people. It is a battlefield where family, reputation, and tradition weigh heavier than the heart. Season 4 sharpens this truth until it cuts like glass. The central romance is not only fighting against society, but against bloodlines, promises, and expectations that have been written long before they were born. For the Bridgertons, family is everything. Loyalty is not a choice, it is a command. Every smile at a ball, every alliance through marriage, every sacrifice made behind closed doors, it all exists to protect the family's name. But what happens when the heart wants something that threatens that name? What happens when desire itself becomes the enemy of duty? Season 4 answers this with tension so sharp it hurts to watch. The lovers stand at a crossroads where no path leads to happiness. If they choose each other, they risk destroying everything their families built. Their honor, their future, their place in the world. If they choose their duty, they must tear their own hearts apart and live in silence, haunted by what they've lost. It is not a question of winning. It is a question of what kind of pain they can endure. And this is where Bridgerton becomes more than a romance. It becomes a tragedy. You see mothers hiding their tears behind smiles, fathers trading their children's futures like chess pieces, siblings torn between protecting love and protecting the family's survival. Every character is pulled into the storm, whether they want to be or not. The grand halls of society, once glittering with laughter, now echo with unspoken grief. The audience feels it too, that crushing truth that in this world, love is not free. It must always bow to something greater: duty, reputation, and the cruel hands of fate. Season 4 forces us to ask, how much can a heart endure when it must beat for family, not for itself? Every Bridgerton season carries a secret moment, the one where everything changes. In Season 4, that moment doesn't just arrive, it crashes down like thunder in a summer storm. It is sudden, cruel, and irreversible. The story that once promised romance now demands a sacrifice, and the sacrifice is love itself. The lovers who once clung to each other are forced apart, not by choice, but by destiny. Their bond, fragile yet fierce, is tested until it shatters. What makes this tragedy unforgettable is not betrayal, but inevitability. The audience watches in horror, knowing there is no escape. Every step they took, every choice they made, was leading them here, toward heartbreak that feels written in the stars. What breaks the heart most is the quietness of it. No grand war, no violent ending. Just a decision made in silence, a truth spoken in whispers, a goodbye disguised as duty. That is how Bridgerton wounds you. It does not shout, it does not scream. It simply steals away the love you thought was safe, leaving only emptiness where joy once lived. And yet, the twist carries beauty too. The kind of beauty only tragedy can hold. We see the depth of their love not in their union, but in their loss. Their willingness to sacrifice themselves proves how powerful their bond truly was. It is the cruelest truth. Sometimes the greatest love story is the one that doesn't end with forever, but with farewell. This is the genius of Season 4. It dares to show that heartbreak is not failure. It is the proof of how deeply these characters felt, how fiercely they lived. The audience will cry, not just for the ending, but for the journey that led there, the stolen moments, the whispered promises, the dream that could not survive. By the time the twist is revealed, you are no longer watching a romance. You are mourning it, and that grief will stay long after the credits fade. Heartbreak in Bridgerton is never private. It does not belong only to the lovers who suffer. It becomes a wound the entire world can feel. In Season 4, the tragedy sends ripples through every ballroom, every garden, every whispered conversation in the ton. What begins as a love story ends as a scar carved deep into the lives of all who watched it unfold. The lovers may be torn apart, but the silence they leave behind speaks louder than any scandal sheet. Families feel the weight first. Mothers who dreamed of happiness for their children are forced to smile through the ruin. Fathers who bargained futures now face the cost of their choices. Siblings who once believed in love now question if it was ever worth the fight. The fallout is not just sorrow, it is doubt. Doubt in love. Doubt in fate. Doubt in the very idea of happily ever after. Society, ever hungry for drama, feeds on the tragedy like vultures. The whispers grow sharper, the stares more cruel. The love that once defied the rules now becomes a warning to others. Do not dream too boldly. Do not love too fiercely, for the world will punish you. The romance that once inspired now terrifies. And then there are the lovers themselves, standing on opposite sides of a broken bridge. They are alive, but their hearts are ghosts. They continue with their duties, their obligations, their roles in the glittering theater of society. But inside, they are hollow. They walk through ballrooms like strangers, haunted by the memory of what they once had. The cruelest part of all is that their love is not gone. It still burns, unseen, untouchable, unbearable. This is why the audience will not just watch Season 4. They will feel it. Because grief is not loud, it is quiet. It lingers in the spaces between words, in the pauses between breaths, in the music that suddenly feels too heavy to dance to. The fallout is not one explosive moment, but a slow, endless ache that stays long after the final curtain falls. Season 4 does not give us closure. It gives us something far more haunting. The truth that love can survive loss, but people cannot. And that truth will shatter your heart long after the credits fade to black. And so, Season 4 ends not with a celebration, but with silence. The kind of silence that hangs heavy. The kind that refuses to leave even after the music fades. The chandeliers still glitter. The gowns still shimmer. And the carriages still roll away into the night. But something is gone. Something has been broken. And it cannot be mended. Bridgerton has always promised us romance, passion, and happily ever afters. But this time, it dares to give us something else. Heartbreak as pure as it is devastating. It shows us that love, no matter how fierce, does not always win. Sometimes it is crushed under the weight of duty. Sometimes it is swallowed by the cruelty of fate. And sometimes it survives only as memory. A memory too painful to hold and too beautiful to forget. The ending of Season 4 will not simply make you cry. It will change the way you see love itself. Because here, love is not a fairy tale. It is a battlefield. It is sacrifice. It is joy so bright it blinds you, and grief so deep it drowns you. And when the final scene closes, you are left with nothing but the ache of what could have been. The brilliance of this season is not in giving fans what they expect, but in daring to take it away. It forces us to confront a truth we often avoid. That the greatest love stories are not always the ones that end in forever. Sometimes, the greatest love story is the one that ends in heartbreak, because it proves how deeply two souls can feel, even if the world will not let them stay together. So, when the credits roll, don't expect relief. Don't expect closure. Expect an ache that refuses to heal. A silence that follows you long after the screen goes dark. Bridgerton Season 4 will not just entertain you, it will haunt you. It will take the heart you gave it and shatter it into pieces you'll never get back. The only question that remains is this: when love and fate collide, are you ready to watch your heart break?